Illustrated, the podcast. Is Jeremiah Johnson alongside Greg Walden.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
I am doing good.
Here we are. Most places in America, it's starting to get warm, sunny, nice. Here in southwest Missouri, trees are starting to bloom. I got my mower ready to go.
I still got to get mine fixed.
Yeah, mine's good. The church is good. So my bus aide, I do a bus route here locally, and I talk about mowing the grass every day. She's like, "You need to stop talking about mowing the grass."
It's coming, guys. It's coming,
and I'm excited. Jesus is on the mower, man. I've had great moments when I'm mowing the yard. Jesus is right there with me, talking to me. It's really great.
I had an idea. I just gave me an idea. Okay. I've got like 2 acres, so you can spend a lot of time with Jesus this year for me.
Hey, there you go. That and like a free pizza and a few bucks, I'm good to go. For free Mountain Dew or something like that. Anyway, you know what I love? I do love the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. I'll do my 2 stories. We talk about stuff guys love. I was very excited to hear that they finally came out with the UFC White House card, okay?
Oh, really?
So America is celebrating its 250th birthday coming up in June, and they wanted to do a UFC fight at the White House, and that was a little bit controversial. How are they going to pull that off? What's going to happen, it's not going to happen on America's birthday, but it's going to happen, I don't have the date right in front of me, Sunday, June 14th, which is President Donald Trump's birthday.
Jeez.
How about what should I do for my birthday? I think I'll have a UFC fight at the White House for my birthday.
Wait a minute. This is supposed to be about America's birthday, not Donald Trump's.
Right. So
come on, man. July 4th.
I probably would do that if I was president. I'm just going to have a UFC fight main event at the White House for my birthday because I'm the president and I can do that. So I think it's going to be very cool. I've seen some of the design stuff. I don't have it right in front of me. Some of the design ideas that they have going on for. Actually, I do. I can pull that up here. Bounce over to my computer. You can see that the lower left there, showing you my computer screen here. Some of the design ideas that they have going on, and it looks pretty cool. You see it there in the upper right screen if you're on the YouTube channel. So it's going to look pretty amazing right by the White House. I wonder if he's going to be watching from. I wonder where he'll be watching from. If he'll be watching from the upper balcony, or he'll be front row, or how that's all going to look.
Got to be front row, man. You got to be front row.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the big talking points was what is the card going to be, and who's going to be fighting. So they thought maybe Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor hasn't fought for a little while. That's a no, which I'm very happy about. I think Conor McGregor is washed. I think Conor McGregor's done. This is a young man's fighting the game. You can't not fight in the UFC for like 5 or 6 years and then hop back in the octagon and just be awesome.
Well, they were touting the Gina Carrero and Ronda Rousey.
Okay, that's happening on Netflix, not with the UFC.
They need to go that. That's what I would do. I would.
It'd be cool. Yeah. They're signed now with that's going to be through Netflix and MVP Promotions. So then the secondary fight that was going to happen was potentially John Jones versus Alex Pereira. That's a no. So John Jones has had some beef with. They just can't get things together. I really wanted that. That's the one I wanted. McGregor, I'm done with McGregor. I appreciate the excitement he brought to the UFC for that period of time. Move on. Yeah. Okay, I did think the Jones-Pereira fight would have been awesome, but Jones and the UFC just can't get along. They can't come up with the right number. Differing stories. One story is they're in negotiations. Dana White out in the post-fight presser on Saturday night says, no, it was never going to happen. He says John Jones has bad hips. He needs surgery, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? It's not going to happen. So here is the White House card. The main event is going to be Topuria versus Gaethje for the world lightweight heavyweight champion. That's going to be a great fight. So Gaethje's the American. Topuria, he's based out of Florida. I can't remember what country he's from. But anyway, Gaethje is a knockout. He's a fun guy to watch. That should be a great fight. I think that's a good pick. We do have Alex Pereira. He's not an American. He's going against Ciryl Gane for the interim heavyweight championship title. We have Sean O'Malley versus Zahabi. O'Malley is an American, a very colorful fighter, if you will. Ruffy versus Chandler. Michael Chandler was supposed to fight McGregor a long time ago. McGregor's doing McGregor things. That never happened. Yeah. Bo Nickel, who is President Trump's, my understanding, that's President Trump's favorite fighter, Bo Nickel. That is going to be a middleweight battle versus Dacus. I don't really know him. And then Lopez versus Garcia for the opening bout. I think this is maybe not an A-plus card, but nonetheless, it's a very, very good card. If you follow the UFC like I do and you follow the game, I think it's a very, very solid card. So there you go. The UFC White House card, Paramount Plus. This is what I watched. So here's what's messing up my life. I'm a pastor. My main thing that I got to bring my A game for is Sunday morning, right? When I'm preaching.
Yep.
Now, Saturday nights, the UFC, I got the Paramount Plus subscription. I can watch all the fights. And the fights go really late. So
get yourself stoked up for Sunday, right?
Dang it. So I'm trying to sleep, and I'm thinking about who won the fight. So my dog did get up and wake us all up, so I did happen to catch Saturday night's fight, which was very, very good. So I'm excited to be watching more UFC, and I am going to probably most likely have a men's church event and watch this one. It's called UFC Freedom 250. There you go.
Interesting, yeah. But I still think they should do it on July 4th. I mean, think about it. America. I mean, that's what's the most American thing you can think of.
I think they wanted to. It's just, logistical things going on there. Along with that, I did something maybe not the most manly today, but I got on the garage on the bike today for a good 45 minutes in there. So
good job.
Felt really good. And what should I watch while I'm spinning there on the bike? I watched came out today, Melania, the Amazon Prime video documentary. So nothing like working out and watching a Melania Trump video documentary.
Yeah, so, I could probably think of better things to watch. But
I actually did another video for our pod, a review on it. So you can check that out. It was interesting. So my main takeaways is I think she's a fairly authentic, real person. I think she's a good person overall.
Right.
Secondly, she has a great accent that makes you think she's a good person. So maybe she's not a good person, but she's just like, I really love America. America, very good to me and my husband. So it's a very cute little.
She's got more class than some of the other first ladies we've had.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I will say that. She's a classy woman. She's got it dialed in. She's similar to my wife. And, my wife, trust me, man, you'll never see her in public without her makeup on, looking halfway decent, and Melania Trump the same way. It's like,
she exhibits what you think of, what you in your mind would think a first lady would look like.
Absolutely. And so I appreciate her for that. And I got a good heart. And, so they explore, it's 20 days leading up to the inauguration. Now, here's where I'm not going hater on her, but the disconnect is, they're trying to, the purpose of the documentary is to make her look good. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hello. Duh. We know this. Yeah. So they're not, this isn't one that's trying to make her look bad, trying to make her look relatable. The problem is they show her in the beginning going from Mar-a-Lago to the Trump jet, flanked by a billion people.
They give her a disconnected Richie look.
To Trump Tower, which is the most absurd looking, Trump Tower, their actual suite or whatever they live in Trump Tower, everything is gold. It's that's where the disconnect for me occurred a little bit. It was
right,
man, number one, which I brought up in my video, is I don't even like those places anyway. The kind of place that you walk into and you're like, am I supposed to sit on that chair? Can I even touch anything in this room? That doesn't do it for me. So the disconnect is hey, guys, if you love Trump and those kind of things, he's just a super wealthy dude that is so above most of us.
But think about
in the real world. But God bless him.
But think about it. How many of us would admit that we all want a gold toilet?
I don't know. I don't know if I would. So I'm just not it's
saying.
When it comes to food. Listen, I have a sister-in-law. She is a caterer, and she's in the high-end catering game. Okay, and the food that she makes disgusts me. She's not listening, but most of the food she makes is can I just have a steak, a chicken wing? Something? I don't even know what this is. Yeah. So
I want real American food. I want real Americana,
which
greasy
Donald Trump does love.
Food.
He's hey, give me the KFC.
Dude, he's a Big Mac. No, he's a big Donald's dude. Big Mac, dude. I mean, if anything would ever impress me about Donald Trump, he's pulling out a Big Mac. I'm yes.
Yep.
I grew up eating Big Macs.
So it's an interesting documentary. Like I said, I was being productive. I just wasn't burning my time watching that. I was also working out. So it's fairly interesting. Shout out to the First Lady. I think she's a beautiful, wonderful person.
Yep.
She is truly a great representation of a First Lady. She has a good spirit, a good heart. I think all of those things. I think she doesn't get enough love and respect. And I'm not trying to throw Michelle Obama under the bus, but they just act like she was the most beautiful, amazing First Lady. And all she has done since she's left the White House is whine.
Well, that's
like, oh, we had to pay for food. Oh, we had to pay for. If I flew somewhere, I had to pay for it. Like she said,
welcome to the real world.
She said literally some of the dumbest things since she's left.
Her husband gets elected. Her husband gets elected president. Now I'm proud to be an American. I guess she just hated the country before.
We had to pay for, like, she had this literally. She had one of her podcasts where she was like, we had to pay for our food sometimes. We had to pay for our flight. It's like,
I'm like,
okay,
just
wow.
us. That's just the average real. American all the time.
The struggle is real.
Yeah.
So Melania, great representation. I think she's a great first lady overall. The documentary, it's okay. You know, it was a lot about but she's a designer. She's a fashion designer. She's very smart and you know into that stuff. And you know, man, that's where it gets a little disconnected because they put a lot of. She's got like 5 people designing her clothes.
So they're trying to make her look good and trying to make her look rich at the same time.
Yeah, because it's not like you and I get up in the morning and we have 5 people handing us clothes. And then once we put on the clothes, then we're like, well, I think you need to touch this up a little bit. My polo, that collar, could you know, no one does that for me in the morning. So
I'm telling you, the nice thing about living in the country, you don't have to worry. You just slap it on and go.
Yeah. There's my 2 stories. So UFC, the Freedom Card, which is coming great. And then as well, the Melania Trump documentary just coming out on Amazon Prime Video. If you want to get a closer insight to the First Lady, go check that out. My 2 stories of the day. Over to you.
All right. Got a little segment we're going to add. And we'll do the intro first. Oops, hit the wrong button. Sorry. Man, I always do this. Why? Anyways,
if we had 5 production people,
if we had if we had some production people, right. I had it ready to play too. Hold on, let me go back here. If I can find it here. Simple. Where'd it go? Oh, never mind. Oh, well, get to the intro next week. But anyways, things that make you feel old.
Okay.
And here's a little quiz. The B-2 bomber. What year do you think the B-2 bomber first flew?
Okay, I know I've seen this before. I feel, off the top of my head, I'm not totally sure. I think it's in the 90s somewhere. It's older than we think. It's still an epic plane. I'm going to say 1992.
You're close. Actually, first flew in 1989.
89, okay.
The thing is almost 40 years old. It's getting to return 40.
Wow.
And you see this.
That does make you feel old. Wow.
Yeah. Things that make you feel old.
Wow.
The 2 bombers getting to return 40.
It's still an elite plane. There's there's no country. China's trying to make one right now, like a stealth bomber, but I don't think they officially have one right now. So we're still the one country in the world that has. It's out of Missouri. I do know they fly out of Missouri, our current home state right now. And then as well, not only do they fly out of Missouri, but there's 22 of them, right? There's
I think there's about
less
a couple dozen.
There's more than 20, less than 30. I know that for sure.
Yeah, the Whiteman Air Force Base. They also have a few down in Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. Right now, there's a big stink with the UK over them wanting to sell that island to other places, and it's a national security risk. So we're in spats with Britain over that.
And they're worth $2 billion.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Roughly. I mean, they're.
In fact, I read a story last night. Last night they actually one landed at Air Force, one landed at Whiteman just not too like a day or so ago, and actually the left landing gear collapsed, and it was skidded off the runway, so it did some damage to the bomber.
Right, I'm looking it up quick. So there's the new B-2 bomber officially designed designated the B-21 Raider.
B-21, yeah, that's new. That's a replacement for the B-2, yeah.
And is that out yet or no?
I think it's been
first unveiled in 2022.
Yeah, I think it's doing. I don't think it's been put in service yet, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's getting there.
But yeah, the B-2 is almost 40 years old. Man, that's like, man, I'm getting old, dude.
I watched a whole YouTube video on just the process. How it's 2 pilots. They get up in the air. It can, they refuel in the air. One guy sleeps for a while. There's like a little bed in there.
Oh, they have microwave, little kitchen.
Yeah.
They have commodities back there that can,
because when they get in that flight, for the most part, they're in there for a good day or so.
It's about 18, 20 hours. Yeah, it's. I mean, they'll fly from here to Iran and back, so that's a long haul.
Yeah, it's a cool plane, and it can drop bombs, literally.
Yeah.
Drops bombs.
It definitely give the enemies a taste of America.
I wonder what they'll do if they'll keep using that, or these, because you're a military guy. After, I know you're not Air Force, but your army, do they get rid of planes after so long, right? Or they take them off the shelf? Or
Well,
what do you wanna call that?
they have what they call the boneyard, and it's in Arizona. It's outside of Tucson. They take planes there, and they'll either mothball them, use them for spare parts. Eventually, they may destroy them.
So they're definitely not going to sell those.
No, they don't sell.
They're not selling those to like
No.
Iran.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
There's an interesting story. Iran has I think they had about several dozen F-14 Tomcats. Because guy realized before 1979, Iran was one of our closest allies in the Middle East.
Yeah.
They are the only country that we ever sold the F-14 Tomcat to. And when the Islamic Revolution happened in 1979, the United States was so nervous. And when they've actually written us back in 2000, they actually retired the F-14. They destroyed a country that has a flyable F-14 right now is Iran.
Okay.
And because even though F-14 is so old, it's still a formidable aircraft.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it says here China is actively developing a new long-range flying wing stealth bomber, the XI and H-20, designed to act as a counterpart to the U.S. B-2 Spirit and B-21 Raider. It is expected to cover the second island, China, with conventional nuclear weapons, but is not yet operational and faces development delays. So that just shows you how far ahead of the game America is.
Right.
If the B-2 bomber's 40 years old and no one else has one.
See, the problem here's the problem with China. And this is why our Venezuela
Lots of problems with China.
and Iran is embarrassing China and Russia, is they find out that all these advanced Chinese radars are junk. I mean, they're junk. I mean, Venezuela had them. Venezuela had the advanced Chinese radars.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They were junk. They exposed them. Like they're just like all these things that China does. You find them a lot of times they end up being junk.
Right. And if that's, if you want, I guess not, I'm not going down the alien pathway, but it's like, they say that government has technology that's like 30, 40 years ahead of us that we don't know about. So if the B-2 if they have the B-2 bomber and that technology is that amazing, what did they have that we don't know about? That's the
I don't really subscribe to the alien thing.
Controversial
I don't subscribe to the alien thing, but anyways.
All right. There we go.
All right, so next one is why steaks always taste better at the restaurant. Most time, I guess. I mean,
most food does, not all food, a lot of food.
I mean, my obvious, So my obviously they do it all the time. So I mean, obviously they do it every day for a living. So obviously they've got everything down pat for how things are supposed to be done. Where we're mostly casual grillers.
Better equipment.
Better equipment.
As far as grills, ovens.
Yeah. But
to have like proper temperatures.
But for me, like, it's like me personally, I like my steaks better than I do restaurant steaks. But
you're good though. You're more practiced, more well versed than some of us.
And so what do you think? Would you rather would you rather grill your own steak or go to a restaurant?
I would go to a restaurant if it's me cooking the steak because I don't cook steak enough to know how to do it good. So, but if you're making one for me, I would be totally fine with that. Like the whatever thing you made me for Christmas, which was epic. Yeah,
I love cooking, but my wife doesn't let me do it very much, so I have to take advantage of the very few times I get to cook. So here's another one. This is an interesting one. I saw this one this morning. This will be my last story for Spiritual Talk. Ford is bringing back the Ranchero. Do you remember the Ranchero?
Ooh, I'll have to look that up here. Ford Ranchero.
It's like the Ford version of the El Camino back in the day.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The El Camino, okay.
So they're bringing...
Was El Camino a Chevy or no?
Yeah, El Camino was a Chevrolet, yeah.
That was a unique car, man.
Yeah.
That was very, the El Camino was very interesting.
So, yeah, they're bringing that back. So what's going to be...
Pulling that up on the screen there. See that if you're on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, it's almost kind of like I would equate it to... With the exception of four doors, like a Honda Ridgeline or something like that, wouldn't you say? Or just like a small truck?
Well,
a car truck, which there's
the Ranchero, the Ranchero was a car truck. It was basically the front end was a car, the back end was a truck, and it was kind of like you can if you have the car feel, and it was basically designed for people who just haul light stuff. Like you don't really haul the stuff that you really need a truck for, but you can haul some light stuff.
That'd be for me. That's the kind of I haul stuff, but like. Occasional runs to Lowe's, etc.
But interesting, they're not really making this a car truck. It's because it's going to be a small truck. And I think it's going to be all electric too. They're going back to the electric model with this too, so making it all EV. And also, they're going to make a Mustang Raptor. So,
interesting.
Yeah, so they're basically going to take a Mustang and add an off-road package to it and call it the Raptor. So basically, you can take your Mustang and go Baja on with the Ford F-150 Raptors and stuff.
Okay. I'm putting that one on the screen as well. They're the Mustang Raptor.
Yep.
That's cool looking. I don't have a use for that, but
some people may frown on. Some people may frown on it because they think only trucks belong in that realm. But there's some people that would love to be able to take their 5-liter supercharged Mustang off road.
As I have mentioned before, I have found I wish I had the name of it, but I found a Facebook on my video tab link there. It's just videos. All they do is take all kinds of cars and run them over 120 speed bumps at 120 miles an hour and see the reaction of the cars.
Oh my.
It's pretty epic. Ford does extremely well.
Yeah.
The F-150s, the Broncos, Jeeps all do really well. And then some of the cars that you think might do well, like these high-end Porsches, like getting destroyed.
So one thing, Ford suspension has gotten better. Like I got my 12 and my 25, and I'm telling you, my 25 feels so smooth when you ride it. It's smooth.
So I'm saying to you, you can just go out, attack those speed bumps. Next time you see it, just hit the gas. Don't worry. No need to slow down.
So what's a speed bump? Yeah. just little toothpicks. Yeah.
All
right. So there are special talk. Now, I read this article on Axios, and it's also on Pew Research, kind of Axios and Pew Research. This is kind of interesting article. I mean, really something makes you think. And it's titled, America's Christian Majority Could End by 2070.
Yeah.
And they basically pull up a graph all the way back to 1980. And 1980 is about 87% would identify as Christian. Obviously, identifying and actually being Christian are different stories. To just anybody, if somebody said I'm a Christian, they counted you. So
yeah.
So you kind of keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this chart. And around early 1990, it started to drop like a rock. As of 2020, that number was about 64%. And by 2070, they're thinking it's going to be around 35% if the trend continues.
Yeah.
35% of people who say I'm Christian doesn't mean they are. Doesn't mean they are. They say they claim to be.
Yep. I got that graph on the screen there for YouTubers.
So that's an interesting that's an interesting graph. So like the question is, what do we as Christians make of that, you know?
Yeah. I think we're already there, honestly. So when you dive into that research, because what gets interesting is that they include that number in Christian. They include like Catholics, Mormons, Protestants, evangelicals, Pentecostals, charismatics. So that number tends to be pretty big because they're just throwing everyone in the pie. Now, I might be someone that argues, hey, a good portion of that pie, I don't know that they're daily walking with Jesus, even that like would be a Pentecostal Christian. But I would say they're probably some of those Pentecostal Christians, they're not even like daily walking with Jesus, and they're out, you know, so that number would dramatically decrease. I think we're pretty much already there. And then you see I've read other articles where it says for sure by 2050 that the hub of Christianity is definitely moving towards South America and then Africa, where God is really moving. I don't know if it mentioned that in the article or not, but.
No, it's a secular. I mean, Axios is not really a Christian.
Oh, okay.
It's a secular
ones that I've seen.
But it's interesting. It's like, I mean, everybody has their own opinions. I mean, I really like. I've been studying. Like me personally, I think it's a sign of the end times. Yeah. Because there's two verses, and you kind of tell those in 2 Timothy 4:3-4. Actually, sorry, let's go to 2 Thessalonians 2:3 first. And it says, "Let no one deceive you by any means, for that day will not come unless the falling away comes first, and the man of sin is revealed, the son of perdition." So if you look at that, the man of sin, the son of perdition, is the Antichrist. Yeah, everybody knows that. I mean, that's pretty clear. So the falling away, and then if you look at the falling away, basically means a rebellion against the truth, rebellion against God. You know, just turning away from the truth, turning away from God, and you see that it's clear. You see that in our society now. Yeah. So people, I mean, and around the world, not just in America, but around the world. I mean, it's a general tendency where, I mean, you see a greater rebellion against God. I mean, you see all these, agenda, like the LGBTQ agenda, all these other, people, laws coming out, this lawlessness, which lawlessness is a spirit of Antichrist. I mean, the Bible said that would happen. The lawlessness, the spirit of Antichrist is lawlessness.
Right.
So you see all these people being lawless. That's the spirit of Antichrist.
Yeah, and we're moving further away from Jesus. That
Right.
That's been, you've heard me go on that tangent a lot lately. It's like a lot of people are comfortable with God, but we're moving away from Jesus, who is the Savior of humanity. It's like the one very interesting thing is when you go back to Roman culture. So in the death and resurrection of Christ, the church is being exploding, and in Roman culture at the time, there were many gods. And so it wasn't like you need to have this one particular God. And what made Christianity, why did Christians start to get persecuted, killed, martyred for their faith, is because they did something that was a big no-no. It's not that any God, all gods welcome. Hey, come on in. Yeah. Whatever God you want, great, you're welcome. But what made the big difference is when you begin to say, hey, there's actually only one God, and his name is Jesus. You can't say that. That affects industry, that affects people's money, etc. And that's the dynamic, I think, has always been, but we're seeing once again as people are afraid of embracing Jesus. Not so much like, hey, in America, it's like, hey, God, any God's welcome. But you start saying Jesus is the way, the truth, and life, the only way. You can't get to heaven except for Jesus. Woo, hey, we got problems now.
So we got that.
I digress. But,
we got that. And obviously, the 2 Timothy 4:3-4 says, the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, they will have itching ears. They will heap up for themselves teachers, and they will turn their ears away from the truth and be turned aside to fables. That's another thing you see happening going on in the world. So you couple that together, and I've been like geeking out on these things, kind of geeking out. So basically, this is scary. Like the last thing we've seen, the last thing that happens before the rapture is the falling away. Because you see the falling away, then you see the man of sin of perdition, Antichrist. So you see the falling away, then right after that, it's Antichrist. So I believe the rapture happens before the Antichrist. Antichrist is the first judgment. The rider on the white horse, the first judgment. So the Antichrist is real after the rapture. So you see the falling away, then you see the son of perdition. So obviously we know what I believe. This is that the Antichrist, the rapture happens right between the falling away and the Antichrist being revealed. So that's why I believe, and so that's why I believe. My personal, again, I'm not date setting. Don't quote me on dates. Obviously I'm not date setting, but I'm just saying my
Let's
opinion.
make our video go viral.
I'm date setting. No, tomorrow, no. But no, it's no. I believe that we're so close to the rapture, but that's just my opinion because what's going on in the world. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and here's a good thought. Do you think so? Experimenting, talking about that idea. Do you think that some people say as the rapture happens, there's going to be an end time revival, or there's going to be like a great falling away? Where do you kind of land there?
The Bible also says that in the last days that God's going to pour His Spirit out on all flesh. Yeah. So and I believe that's happening too. Mm-hmm. So right. So it's like they sound kind of opposite. Like, wait a minute, God falling away and a great pouring out. I was like, how can you have both at the same time? We can have both at the same time. Yeah. You can have both at the same time. God's pouring out His flesh. He's pouring out all His flesh. Because the Bible is clear. God doesn't want anybody made in His image to perish. God doesn't want to send people to hell. It's not His desire. Yep. He wants everybody to come to Him for salvation. And He's like, but then there's also an end. God's patience does have an end. Yeah. It's not limitless. His patience is not limitless. There will come a time that says, done. Yeah. And the thing is, when He says done, it's done. So the Bible says now is that time of salvation. But there will become a time when God said, when that last person, because there's another conversation. There's a whole bunch of conversations you can have with it, but I believe there's going to be that last person that's going to get saved. Rapture. Because obviously, and then but that's just one of the things but there's going to be a time when Jesus comes back, rapture's going to happen, and then the tribulation begins, and obviously, the tribulation there's double purposes. Well, obviously, God pouring out judgment on the wicked, but also bring Israel back to the realization that Jesus Christ is the Messiah. And you have the two witnesses, you have the 144,000 sealed, and the angels going around preaching the gospel over the earth. So, the gospel's still going to get preached under tribulation. Yeah, they're going to be bringing Israel. Basically, one of the purposes is bringing Israel. Israel's going to finally realize that Jesus is the Messiah. Wow. This stuff is going to happen. That's crazy, isn't it? It's going to happen. Yeah. And the main thing is like, as a Christian, we look forward to that rapture. Right. We look forward to the rapture. And that's another study in itself. Like, are you looking forward to seeing Jesus? mean, obviously, people. Do you see the rapture with the spirit of dread, or do you see it with the spirit of anticipation? Like that, you want to see your master. I mean, that's the whole purpose of being a Christian. Eventually, you want to see your master.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our desire as Christian. We want to see Jesus. I mean, well, if you don't want to see Jesus, what's the purpose of being a Christian?
Right.
I mean,
yeah. Wow. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else you got there?
That's all I got.
All right, guys. Christian and Men's Illustrated, the podcast. We're putting up more videos, the YouTube channel, Facebook, those kind of things, Spotify. Love connecting with you guys. We will talk to you next time.
There we go, guys.